Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. NFL Week 11 Monday Night Football, supposed to be the best game of the season, the year. This week, the way this week has gone, it's almost like you got a feeling one of these quarterbacks is going to get hurt. Just the way this week has gone, right? So it's been nothing but an absolute cluster. Starting with Thursday night and Joe Burrow. Geno Smith gets hurt yesterday. Actually, it might be a benefit to the Seahawks. I'm not a Geno fan whatsoever. Drew Lock's not that great anywhere, but, who knows? Maybe then they'll focus more on the run. Kenneth Walker gets hurt. A lot of people getting hurt, right? So, and of course, the books, the four games they're the most heavily invested in are lopsided. They win 3 of the 4. So go figure that one. The only one they get beat on is the Cowboys. So not quite sure, how else this works, except the NFL seems to stand for we protect the casinos, whatever. It's not that we had such a horrible week where we're folding up shop or anything like that. It's just one of those weeks, and this is normally November-ish, start of December, where the books really start to crush and make their money. A lot of people maybe got some money from the early weeks of the NFL and then starting to get that one round. I love the NFL. I love the Chiefs. I'm never going to, and I love football. So, but it's just one of those weeks. It's just kind of like, really? And last week was kind of the same thing a little bit. So, but anyway, not to be somber, we will get into the best game of the year. So it's pretty, like, to break this game down, let's just break this game down, okay? So Chiefs at home, not used to be one of the most impossible places to play. I'll be really honest, hasn't not been that way for the last few years. They have taken some home losses. Not to say they're a team that's going to get beat either. So if I had to guess in this particular game or handicap this game, it would be first half over, second, and then game under. So somehow we will be at like 31 points or 28 points or 27 points at half, total of 45, 46, and somehow like hardly any team will score in the second half. So that's kind of how we see the game when it comes to that. So how do you go through and bet this game? Well, that's what kind of we've been working on this one all week, right? So I don't know how to necessarily, say that this is going to be, how this is going to necessarily work. I mean, both teams basically do a lot of the same thing except Philly. So Philly's run offense is better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs' passing offense has been on par, maybe a little bit less. Maybe the Philly is better on that as well. So let's go back to that. I mean, let's look at the breakdown. So far this year, the Philly offense has been better on the road. I've been better in the pass game and been better in the run game. Okay, so let's look. If we look at that, so the offense overall better for Philly. We probably all agree with that. Just this year, years past, not so much. This year, definitely one of those ones where you just kind of. That's the way it's been so far. Now, years past, Philly's defense has been better. This year, overall, I think he's got to say that the Chiefs' defense has been better. So a little bit opposite, maybe what we thought in the Super Bowl, where we thought maybe the offense was better for the Chiefs and the defense was better for the Eagles. Now we've got kind of an opposite turn, no neutral field, but two of the best teams in the league. I mean, everybody still believes, I think, that the Chiefs will figure out a way offensively to be a lot more potent than they have. They're going to need to be, I think, to make the run, but their defense is the best it's been since Schottenheimer. Simply. The defense is not The defenses obviously have changed. It's not hold everybody to 17 points and or 14 points and they never cross the 50. There's a lot of weird crap that happens. The one thing that the Eagles have going for it is they basically have 3 downs to make 8 yards. Because the Phillies, brotherly shove, tush push, whatever the hell you want to call it, can be good for 2 yards. So they fight a little bit different battle because realistically, let's say they don't have to get 10 yards for a first down, they have to get 9. Okay, so that gives them a huge advantage offensively and in time of possession where they can keep that defense off the field. But the breakdown is simple as this. No matter what Mahomes does, and this year has statistically been one of his worst, and last year when he won the MVP, it was not as good as his first year when he won MVP, is that he's a winner. And he normally, unless he's handicapped, he does not lose big games. Right? So let's go back to the Super Bowls. They won the first Super Bowl against the 49ers. Kind of real lucky that Garoppolo threw a pick. They kept throwing the ball instead of running it out. Kind of like Brady got lucky against the Falcons when they were up 28-3 and Shanahan couldn't run the ball to run the ball out. There's a lot of stuff that happened there. But big game, Mahomes shows up. Now, the big game against Brady in his first season, the AFC Championship game, it didn't, the luck went against him because I think Brady made more good breaks happen than probably any other quarterback. It's not lucky, it's good breaks because he makes it happen. Same thing with Mahomes. I don't think Mahomes is lucky. I just think he makes good breaks happen his way. Jalen Hurts is a heck of a quarterback. No question about it. But I don't think he's the best quarterback in the league. He may be 2, maybe 3, he may be 4, but he's right there, right? He's in the teams that you have to fear year in and year out, no matter what the rest of the team is, because they're a good enough quarterback to drag that team with them. So that's what Jalen Hurts is. So there's very few quarterbacks in this league that are like that. It's Joe Burrow, Mahomes, Hurts. And that might be the end of the list. Buffalo's finally getting a taste of what it's like to actually have somebody count more against the salary cap than $5 million. And injuries are bad. So, but let's just say 3 quarterbacks for sure can help a team that's not as stellar get home, right? And the rest of the league is basically trying to find rookie quarterbacks or quarterbacks that play way above their pay scale to get home. So in this particular matchup, though, we are going to take the Chiefs because the line's so little. There's so little determining between the two. I honestly think that they're going to make some mistake in the pass game, whether it's a fumble by receivers, an interception, which we bet for Jalen Hurts. I just think that's going to be one of the differences in the Chiefs defense, which is extremely good against the pass. If you want to beat the Chiefs, you have to be extremely patient with the run, and that can be hard to do because if they all of a sudden get up on you 14-0, all of a sudden, you hear the squawks of we need to catch up. If you're patient enough with the run, you will wear this team out. I promise you. If you figure out a way to run the ball 40 times, you should win and you don't turn the ball over, you will win this game. The question is, can they do it? I don't know if they're going to be able to stay patient enough with it. That's the big thing. I think if they fall behind early, they won't. The key is staying even keel with them. If they do, what it does, it frustrates Mahomes as well that he's not on the field, doesn't get a lot of snaps, and then he starts pushing. He's susceptible to mistakes as well as anybody is. I mean, hell, he's probably top 5 in the league in interceptions. He's thrown a lot of them this year because he wants to push. He's frustrated. They're not getting enough plays. They don't make third downs they used to make all the time. Like it used to be, they never came off the damn field. They'd be on the field the whole time because they would just, it converted another 3rd and 15 or another 3rd and 12 or another 4th and 12. They'd get all that done, but not the case so far this year. But we'll get to the bets here and quit with the jibber jabber, I guess, about it. But breakdown is both teams are really similar. I mean, they do it in different ways, but they accomplish basically the same thing. I will lose these bets if the Eagles stay patient enough to run the ball 40 plus times. I don't know if they will, but that's the only way I really see you beating them at home. But we don't think they will, so therefore we're going to take the Chiefs. -1.5 first quarter, -1.5 first half, and -2.5 for the game. Now, I know it's 1.5 first quarter. it was either a big minus or we take a shot. Maybe they get up, 7-0 or 10-7 or 7-3 or something to that effect, and it was plus money. So we took the 1.5 from the first quarter. Chiefs over 10.5 team total first half. Chiefs over 23.5 team total for the game. A.J. Brown over 6.5 receptions and over 85.5 yards. And then we've got Rashee Rice over 42.5 receiving yards. DeAndre Swift. I put this one in there in case the Eagles decide to be patient and do this, but over 58.5 rush yards. Jalen Hurts to throw a pick. Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. And one of our favorite plays of the night is going to be the Chiefs-Eagles under second half of 23.5. I understand this thing can get blown up because, it might be easier to live line this, but I promise you if this game's like 17-14 in the first quarter, in the first half, this line will be less than this. So I'm taking advantage of the 23.5 points in the second half that I'm going to get now versus what I'm going to get live line. Now, we're still going to look at this live line, see if we can pick this one up. Maybe it's 14-10, maybe it's, 12-10, 13-10 or 10-7, and this live line will go up even more, or the under in the second, or the total in the second half will go up even more, but we'll take that chance right now at the Chiefs under 23.5 total in the second half. So we'll run through this game for you one more time. Chiefs minus 1.5 first quarter, minus 1.5 first half, and minus 2.5 for the game. Chiefs over 10.5 team total first half, over 23.5 team total for the game. A.J. Brown over 6.5 receptions and over 85.5 receiving yards. Rashee Rice over 42.5 receiving yards. Swift over 58.5 rush yards. Jalen Hurts to throw a pick. Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. The Eagles have given up 5 touchdowns so far this to opposing tight ends. And Chiefs under 23.5 total second half. The other advantage here, just to kind of get into that, is that Eagles' pass defense is not nearly as good as it was last year. They're still getting a lot of pressures on the quarterback. They're not sacking quite as often, and their secondary is a lot worse. Chiefs are going to need that to be the case tonight. One of the things is, most teams have tried to take Kelce out of the game. It's the smartest thing you can possibly do. Rashee Rice has to be the guy because everybody else you can't trust for 2 seconds. So Rashee Rice needs to be in the game for 75-80% of snaps, not this 50% crap they've been running. So at the end of this episode, do make sure you check out in the comment section. Will be a link to the Google Sheets, which will have all of our bets, what juice we got those at, what book we placed them at, how many units, and obviously result. You'll get all of that on there. So make sure you do check out the Google Sheets. If you're just interested in the football bets, those are going to be obviously football 23-24. Scroll down to NFL Week 11, and then you will see all of those bets that we have there for Monday night, as well as what we had for Thursday and Sunday. So you can check all of those out. If you're interested in basketball as well, just a heads up, there is basketball bets. There's a ton of basketball games today, especially college, with a lot of tournament games going on. And then there's a few NBA games that we're also in. So make sure you check those out as well. I'm telling you right now, I think NBA might be a little bit easier to get a little bit more value in than the NFL right at the moment. So do make sure if you bet multiple sports like we do, you get a chance to check those out when you get some time. I do appreciate everybody's support as always and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.